everyone, I'm back again with another voiceover video, this time talking about attributes. You may not know it if you're not familiar with the games of the franchise, but each girl in Love Live is assigned an attribute. The 3 attributes are pure, cool, and smile. For the most part, these attributes don't affect too much, but every so often a song will come out where the girls are organized by attribute. A good example of this for Aqua would be Kokoro Magic A to Z or Wake Up Challenger, both of which were created exclusively for Love Live School Idol Festival All-Stars. This same game also introduced 3 new attributes: elegant, active, and natural. While these attributes are really just for the cards of the game, I thought it might be cool to try and organize the girl into these 3 attribute categories on top of their usual attributes. Like with the smile, pure, and cool attributes, I'll be following the rule about 1 girl from each year into each attribute. The exception to this is Niji, which has the extra subunit of rebirth. So for Niji, 1 extra girl gets added to each attribute to make it groups of 4 instead of groups of 3. We'll start with Muse. In Muse, right now, the current attributes are as follows. Honoka, Nico, and Rin are the smile attribute. Umi, Ellie, and Maki are the cool attribute, and that leaves Kotori, Nozomi, and Haneo for the pure attribute. I thought a lot about who should go where with the new attributes, and here's what I came up with. For the elegant attribute, I immediately knew that both Umi and Ellie would go here. After some thought, I also determined that Haneo was probably the most elegant of the Muse first years, so I put her under elegant as well. For the active attribute, it had to be Rin, of course. Now, when you think about the active attribute, I think it goes much deeper than just someone who is active in sports. I think active would also cover someone who's really passionate. So for that reason, I'm adding Kotori and Nico to the active attribute too. Nico is determined to be the universe's #1 idol, whereas Kotori is super passionate about clothing to the point where she almost left in season 1 of School Idol Project. That leaves Nozomi, Honoka, and Maki for the natural attribute, all of which fit well. To me, the natural attribute should be people who are unapologetically themselves, and I think that fits all 3 of those members perfectly. When it comes to Aqua, the smile attribute is Chika, Mari, and Hanamaru. The cool attribute is Yoshiko, Riko, and Daya, and the pure attribute is Yo, Kenan, and Ruby. Just as a small side note here, I actually don't 100% agree with all of the Aqua attributes. I personally think that Riko should have been the pure attribute and Yo should have been the cool attribute, but that's kind of just an aside. Anyway, here are my new lineups. For the elegant attributes, my first thought was Daya. That's probably one of the best words to describe her in general. And along with her, I've also added Riko and Hanamaru. Now I know Riko has her dorky flustered moments, but I do think she's the best fit for elegant out of the Aqua second years. The same goes for Hanamaru. She feels like the most elegant out of the Aqua first years. For the active attribute, of course Yo and Kanan seem like a perfect fit. It was a little bit harder deciding on a first year, but I finally decided on Yoshiko. She is incredibly passionate about being a fallen angel and spends tons of time on her live streams, so it seemed like she was a good fit here as well. That brings us to the natural attribute, which is Chika, Mari, and Ruby. It was pretty easy for me to put Chika and Mari here, but I had a harder time deciding whether it should be Ruby or Yoshiko for this group. Finally, I decided on Ruby just because you always see Ruby being her cute self, and I also think that Ruby, Mari, and Chika are the characters that experience some of the biggest growth during the show, which to me kind of makes it seem like they fit well in natural attribute. When it comes to Niji, smile is I, Shioriko, Rina, and Kanata. The pure attribute is Mia, Emma, Kasumi, and Ayumu, and the cool attribute is Setsuna, Lanzu, Karin, and Shizuku. Again, not to get sidetracked, I actually think that Mia and Shioriko should be switched, with Mia being in the smile attribute and Shioriko being in the pure attribute, but that's, again, another aside. For the elegant attribute, my lineup ended being Shioriko, Ayumu, Karin, and Shizuku. I thought a lot about whether it should be Ayumu or Setsuna here, but in the end, Setsuna just doesn't give off an elegant vibe to me, whereas Ayumu is kind of delicate and a lot of her solo songs just give off that elegant, delicate vibe, which seemed to fit better here. When it comes to the active attribute, it was definitely Setsuna and Lanzu right away. Those 2 were easy. Both of them are extremely passionate about what they do. For the third year, I decided on Kanata. That may surprise some of you, but Kanata is actually super passionate about her little sister. And then for the first year, I decided on Kasumi because she's really passionate about it being a cute school idol. Now, for the natural attribute, that leaves Mia, I, Emma, and Rina. I think that I could have easily fit the active attribute as well, but at the heart of her, I is also a girl who is just herself. Same goes for Emma and Rena. As for Mia, a huge part of her storyline in All Stars is her accepting what she really wants to do and learning more about herself, with Rena's help, of course. So to me, that just seemed to make Mia fit the natural attribute. I'll pause here and say that I did not include Liella in this, mostly because they're not in All-Stars, and also because I'm less familiar with Liella than I am with the other groups. And also, I think that Liella is going to get new members in Season 3, so that could change any potential attribute groupings. So, these are my groupings for the elegant, active, and natural attributes. What did you think? How would you categorize the girls? Do you agree with me, or would you do it differently? Leave a comment letting me know below. Bye for now!